Good evening, everyone. Respected faculty members and all other webinar attendees today. Today, we are up here to be a part of the collective webinar on self-efficacy to self-branding. Now, with the beginning of the economic liberalization and globalization, Indian market has been subjected to a huge amount of competitiveness and aggressiveness. So to fit in these global standards, we youth, the students needs to be ready, needs to become updated, needs to enhance ourselves to be fit in this growing standards. So our English department has taken up many steps for development of our soft skills that would enhance ourselves and show off our skills in various national and international forums. So I would like, on behalf of all, I would like to welcome with high mental acquisitiveness on behalf of all, I am feeling very delighted to welcome Dr. Swayam Prabha Satpathy, an academician, author, columnist, counselor, editor, and a corporate trainer. Presently an associate professor of Shiksha Anushandhan University, ITER, Department of Humanities. She has been received various prestigious awards or like Shiksha Ratna Puruskar, Teachers Excellence Award, and Best Teacher Award. She is an editor of journals and reviewer of various national and international forums. She has published presented papers on various national and international conferences. Her research interests are literature and ELT. Once again, welcome, ma'am. This platform is all yours now. Please, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. It is so good to hear from you, and it's so good to see so many students out here. First of all, I would like to thank your university, Dr. Pragya, the entire faculty members, and the students, of course, without whom the sessions will not be ever interesting. Yes, as my topic goes, so I think I'll share my PPT without wasting much of the time, and so that, like it will take a lot of patience because, the students have a holiday as I understand today. And so thank you so much for being there to listen to my talk. So, okay, let me just share a moment, please.
I'm also happy that holiday students have joined for this kind of webinar. I really appreciate their interest.
Absolutely, yes. So a very good afternoon to all of you, and thank you so much once again for having me here. So as my topic goes, self-efficacy to self-branding. Now, I think this topic actually would take the interest of all because, let me just start with a small story because, storytelling is the new mantra that how we understand things more by the style of narration. So, when, in a small village, there were some children and villagers, and it was very hot, the scorching heat, as all of us understand, that how in summers, how difficult it is for us. So the farmers were really having problem because of droughts. So what they did once, they thought that we will have to pray God in order to have rain. So all the villagers, along with the the children, they went along to their farms and started praying. Now there was one small boy who went with an umbrella, and rest all of them were wondering that, oh, is the boy insane? That why has he come with this kind of an umbrella when there is no rain and there's almost everywhere drought, and there is no harvest as well, and there is no sign of rain. So why somebody should get an umbrella? So, and they waited and waited and waited, and after some time they came back, but the little boy still waited there with the umbrella. And to the surprise, there was, there was a lot of clouds and it started to rain. Now, meaning that by what I'm trying to say through this is not because that he had immense faith on God, that is one point, but a trust on himself. That is, if because he had taken an umbrella anticipating that if I go with my umbrella, if it rains, I'll have my umbrella. So he had in his mind that it will definitely rain. So that kind of a motivation, that kind of a thought process is to be developed among us. And how many of you, when you wake up in the morning, you put an alarm, don't you? And we always know that tomorrow never comes. That's a common saying that all of us understand. But still we put an alarm and keep our schedule intact. That is tomorrow, these all things I have to do. Why do we do that? So basically we have a hope of seeing the tomorrow. Nevertheless, we have at the back of the mind, tomorrow never comes. So, with this hope, the trust in mind, we build the self-efficacy. And that is the theory of motivation. When we have a lot of experience. Now, when I say experience, you would think, oh, as students, what kind of experience that we have? But each experience, each individual, when he is born, he always has certain experiences in his mind. And he tries to work through the experiences. As you grow up, your experience and your exposure to things increases. But nevertheless, as a student, as a child, as an infant, you always have certain experiences, and through those experiences, you try to learn. Now, how many times, if you have younger brothers and sisters at your home, you see them falling and once again doing the same thing. And your mom says that, oh, each time I tell this child not to do this, and he's going on and on with that. So what happens then? Because he has failed to climb up the stairs, maybe. He has failed to drink the water properly, maybe, to sip it from the bottle properly. So, but he's trying again and again. So he has in his mind the trust that I'll be able to do it. And this trust should be carried forward as we grow up higher and higher. So that, when we are getting into the ladder of our experiences, our exposures are also getting widened. So through this trust and a hope and a belief in ourselves, because, we all work by a belief system. So if we believe that I can do it, you can do it. Now you might ask me this, that, oh, does that mean that I will be sitting at my home with my hands folded and I will say, oh, I can do it? No, I don't mean that, but a kind of a self-belief, a self-trust, which is more important. Because most of the time we are very much confused. Don't you think? Now, if I am to ask you that how many of you are confused or confident, I think many of us, even me, when I was of your age, was quite confused. Have you heard of the saying that is lock, stock, barrel? So in United States, when they were producing, guns, so there were separate people who prepared locks. There were separate organizations who prepared stocks, and there were separate organizations who prepared barrels. So what happened then is, when there were three different groups doing the different kinds of things, there was a lot of confusion because the time frame was not matching. The target was not reaching. So what happened? One individual tried doing it all by himself, and so that organization flourished, and it was named as lock, stock, barrel. So what we have to do is we have to create our own lock, stock, barrel. So through our social persuasion, so now when I talk about social persuasive qualities, it is not about, what the society tells us to do, but it is what about how we are, guiding ourselves to work it out. And similarly, the physiological feedback. Now, physiological feedback is something a healthy mind works in a healthy body. So first and foremost, all of us have to keep ourselves healthy. Because once we are healthy in our own way, so definitely we work better and our mind functions better. I think all of you would agree to that. So now, most of the time when we are asked to work on challenges, we are very much comfortable in our own comfort zone. We don't like to take up challenges. And because we feel that, oh, so you see how many times your ma'am must have asked you, or your professors must have asked you to come and speak on this topic. And so what has taken you aback? That is, oh, how will I speak? What my friends will think about me? I can't do it. The first answer I think most of you must have given, even I gave that when I was a student, that I can't do it. So it's only when my experiences grew, I said, oh, how irresponsible I had become when I said I can't, when I can. So it's with all of us, we have the potential, we have the power of doing things, but we don't recognize, we don't self-acclaim those power, we don't self-acknowledge that power. So the mantra for building the self-efficacy. So self-efficacy is nothing but the efficiency that each individual has. So try it and say, I can. So what if people are laughing at me? Doesn't matter. So when people, what do I say when my students say, oh ma'am, he's laughing at me, he's commenting me. So I say basically the students who are laughing, they're creating a laughing stock for themselves because they can't do it. You are a threat to them because you are doing it so wonderful. So mistakes are something that which will come across that we have to try and understand it. We cannot be always 100% correct. We are not ISO 9005 recognized people. We are individuals after all. So the first step when you are asked to do something out of your comfort zone, because now we are having this online offline classes. So my students also tell me that ma'am, classes offline hone chahiye, but exams online hone chahiye. Then I ask, and of course even I feel that way. Arey yaar, ye to sahi mein, because online classes, hum apne room mein baithe rehte hain, we just log in and then just start listening, and sometimes we don't bother to listen. Also, we go to sleep. So this is the student kind of a thing that if I see from the student perspective, and that's very much natural because when you are in your comfort zone, the AC is on, you had a good sumptuous lunch, and post lunch sessions you are asked to sit before the laptop. Obviously you'll be sleepy, but that is again, it's quite comfortable for us. So that is why we enjoy doing that. Now supposing we ask if you are asked to do something out of your comfort zone, you are into computer science engineering and you are asked to do some of the works of HR. So you would say, oh, how it relates to me. But the point is, what we have to understand that we are all getting interdisciplinary. So each discipline, like I am a person of humanities, your Pragya ma'am is a person of humanities, but we have tried to adapt ourselves to new learning ages because these paradigm shifts has to be done. Similarly, a person with a good computer science background, with a good CGPA, if he doesn't know how to speak, so how successful he will be? You may be a 9-pointer, you may be a 10-pointer, but how does that matter? You have to place it. You have to value your words. If you don't value your words, who will speak it for you? So this is what, we have to try and understand that we have to talk to masses, not classes. Because talking to classes is something very, easy for us to do. But what we are trying to do is we have to talk to the masses and try to take their, faith in us. Because then only we start building that trust among people. So first, I'm talking about self-efficacy, that is building trust within yourself, which is very important. Now, there are certain verbal persuasions. Now, you see, as we have appraisal. What is appraisal? That is, when you give some appreciations. You got a first rank in your class. Imagine of a time when you were in your 10th standard, you got a first rank. You were the topper in your class, or say even within the first 3 ranks. So, and when you returned back, your mom had made a nice chicken curry for you, and your father said that today we are going out for dinner, and and you were so happy to wear a new dress and get in your outfits, and the feedback that you got from your teachers, oh, you have done very well. And so all these are positive encouragements, that is again a supportive thing to build our efficacy. That is, you develop that kind of confidence. So, but at the same time, at this point of time, when you are looking forward for jobs, okay, so at this point of time, what happens in the surroundings doesn't matter as much as what happens within yourself, because you are as a kind of a person who has to pave the way for yourself. Nobody else will do it. There will be only theories who would tell you that this is how you can do it. But ultimately, it is you who is responsible as to how I should do. And individuals are persuaded by others that they are capable of succeeding in specific tasks. So you see, if we take the examples of advertisements. Now you see, in all the advertisements that we see, how persuasive this are. Very recently I was seeing of Airtel. Okay, and I use the Airtel SIM, and many of you must be using. So they haven't got this 5G, but they're saying we are all set for 5G. And you can see in the advertisement that people from all over the different places. So somebody is saying that, oh, I get connected to this, which is something which is very common. But you will, what you notice there is the projection, the way they are projecting the thing. so that people are, you give a kind of a look at that advertisement. Oh, it is so convincing. So this is what, we have to understand. So verbal persuasion is something which has to be inculcated within ourselves, because when you're working in organizations, you have to persuade people to accept you, because what are we basically doing? We are trying to give information, take information, persuade people to accept our information. So what if nobody accepts? We say we don't care. If nobody accepts our view, we don't care. We don't bother. How does that matter? But we probably can't do that. We really bother, because our marketability, our sellability will be when people acknowledge us. But for that, what is more important is to build the self-trust of I can do it, and I will be able to work along with people, and people have to accept me. Now, these are the steps on the ladder. Okay. So we start with, I can't do it. As I said, we are out of our comfort zone. Even I say sometimes, when I learned driving initially, so I'm still not a very prolific scooty driver, which I would love to. And, but while I learned driving on a car, so initially when my driver said, ki, madam, jetebela apna gadita chale, pe bhabbe samaste pagara, apna hi thik. I was thinking, oh, how mad he is, kya bol raha hai mujhe. But then again, I said, no, ye to mere bas ka hi nahi hai, because I used to see a big truck coming in front of me. I felt like leaving the steering. And if some of you have ever come to Bhubaneswar, Khandagiri Chak is the most, busiest place out there. So when I used to, drive there initially, and invariably my car would stop. I would not have that, coordination of the brake and the accelerator. And so my, car would stop. And the policemen whistling out, and then the vehicles from all sides, they are honking at me, and I felt so embarrassed. What am I doing it? So it went on for a long time. Then I realized that what am I doing? That I'm making a laughing stock of myself, because if I am not learning how to drive, how will I do? Because I have to request my husband that please take me somewhere. I have to request my son, please take me somewhere, or the driver, and the driver says, ma'am, today I'm on leave. It's a Sunday. Please don't disturb me like that. So what do? So then I came to the next step, that is, I want to do it. So when I decided that I want to do it, I went a step. And, again, there came a question to me that how do I do it? Because what happened is, while I was going on slopes, so, each time my car would stop, or I was so nervous, my legs would pain, or somebody coming from the front end, I would say, "Arey, kahin lag jayega, kahin lag jayega." So these apprehensions went on in my mind, and then I said, no, this is not being done. I will try to do it. So even if something happens, so okay, accidents are obviously are accidents only. So let me not be very much scared of it. Let me try. And then I realized that no, I can do it. As any other person can drive a car, I can also drive a car. And then I was determined to do it. And today, hopefully by, I'm able to drive. And so if you think about this was a very simple example about me, but even if you realize, if you start introspecting, if you start thinking that there were times where for little things you have said, I can't do it. कैसे करेंगे यार, एग्जाम्स है, ये तो पढ़ाई नहीं हुआ, ये प्रोजेक्ट कैसे करेंगे, इसको किस तरह से करना चाहिए, और सर तो बता दिए, बट सर तो थियोरेटिकल बताए, हमको तो प्रैक्टिकली करना है, ऐसे कैसे हो जाएगा, हम नहीं कर पाएंगे. And but then you must have realized that slowly you have done the project. So it's as simple as that. Life always teaches us many lessons. We have to only give a little thought to that. That is how am I thinking, and it is as good a lesson that how from a caterpillar a butterfly emerges, and that's exactly as how success comes to you. So what we have to have is the growth mindset. That is, we have to have a defined purpose. Now, when I was young, of course, I didn't have so many, variations, that is to get to engineering, medical, or interior designing, architecture, and so many things. So I had a simple thing. My father told that, oh, you are good at English. So, he could recognize my potential, and he said, you do in English honors. So I said, yes, arts is a good subject because it's easy. Again, that comfort zone came to me. And then this technical education, though it was there, but we were not very globally, global citizens then. So slowly, I said, okay, fine. And then it came to me quite late that exactly what am I trying to do and what am I for? So there is always a confusion between this, that is what am I doing and what am I for? So when you try to bridge this gap, जब हम पता लगता है कि हमको ये करना है और हम ये कर रहे हैं, तो जब पर्पस डिफाइंड होता है तो हमको वे मिलता है कि मुझे ये करना है, तो मैं इसको पाने के लिए क्या करूंगा, इवन इफ इट इज सिविल सर्विसेज। मुझे अमेजोन में जॉब चाहिए, अब अमेजोन में जॉब चाहिए, ठीक है, तुम्हारा यूनिवर्सिटी गिव्स यू अ वे थ्रू द प्लेसमेंट दैट यस यू आर सिटिंग फॉर द, बट बाकी का काम तो आपको ही करना है ना, कि किस तरह से अमेजोन में यू हैव टू मेक, तुमको पढ़ना स्टडी करना पड़ेगा, यू हैव टू यू नो हैव अ बैकग्राउंड स्टडी दैट हाउ अमेजोन वर्क्स, what is the mission of Amazon, how does it work, what are the things that is required, what the skills I need to hone. So and there are certain missing links, we always learn that is what we have to do, but what is not done is never taught to us. The three basic W's, that is what, when, why, has a very big significance because it also tells you what went wrong. So these are the missing links. So how many times if you think of that you are depressed, that oh ये काम मैं करने जा रहा था नहीं हुआ, आज मेरी फ्रेंड से बात करने वाला था और वो फ्रेंड ने मुझे मेरे से ठीक से बात नहीं करी, सो यू फील अरे यार आज तो पूरा दिन ही बेकार हो गया, हम लोग आज पिकनिक जाने वाले थे, आज मूवी जाने वाले थे और मूवी के लिए आज टिकट्स भी ले आया बट मेरे फ्रेंड्स डिड नॉट टर्न अप। तो हम क्या करते हैं, सारा दिन वही बात सोचते रहते, अरे यार देखो कितने खराब है ये लोग, मुझे बोल तो देना चाहिए था, फोन भी नहीं लग रहा। So हम बार बार फोन को देखते रहते हैं। Then what we do when the phone is not ringing, so we switch off the phone. We feel अरे आज तो इसको ब्लॉक करना ही है, we are not going to take up this call again. So all these things, what are these? These are basically missing links because what are we doing? We are wasting time. वो अगला बंदा अपने घर में आराम से सो रहा होगा या कुछ प्रॉब्लम भी होगा तो वो सॉल्व कर रहा होगा, हमें तो उसका बैकग्राउंड पता नहीं, हम उसको बस आज हमने डिसाइड किया था हम जाएंगे और उसने वो नहीं आया, वो हमें फोन नहीं किया, तो हमने सारा दिन बिता दिया उसी के बारे में सोच के। So this is most important, that is what, when and why is as important as what went wrong. And so introspection and retrospection. So introspection जो कि हम अपने आप में सोचना पड़ता है, at when you wake up in the morning, तुम ये दिन में सोचा करो कि मुझे आज क्या करना है, I have to prepare a schedule, okay, that this is how I have to work. May it be I have to go to a cafeteria, I have to meet my friends, I have to go for a movie. At the end of the day, when you come back, then you put a tick on the schedule. That is, these are the things I have done today, and these are the things I could not do. Then retrospect that what went wrong, why I could not accomplish. And there will be days when you are again having some problems. It's not always that we will always have as it is a commonly said, life is not a bed of roses. It's really not. Because at the student level also, I understand there are a lot of problems. Sometimes girlfriend is also a problem. Well, so all these things are very much obvious. So it's fine, doesn't matter. But the problem, we are not to focus on the problems. We are to find out solutions. So as we are growing big, aging, then we are trying to get more experience. Let us get exposed also to things, not to waste time on very trivial matters, on very small matters. So what we have to do, we have to learn. We have to learn what to do to unlearn and relearn. Because there are paradigm shifts, as I said, there is a lot of changes. You see, now we talk as if we are globally accepted citizens. And that is why now you would think, okay, if we are globally, and communication doesn't only mean to speak. So if it only means to speak, then speaking can be done in any language. Why only English? Now, this is a common medium. Don't you think so? Because if we are speaking in English with the people, as I said, we are going globally, we are trying to build up a global acceptance. So definitely we are trying to bridge the gap, and then we choose a common medium. And so then we are trying to relearn certain things. That is new ideas, new concepts. So people from electrical engineering, they would like to know certain electrical methodologies that would help them to build their career. From computer science, certain languages that you have to hone, which is not in the curriculum. You have to do certain coding languages, which is very important. Web designing, person who wants to pursue on, what do you call that, hacking, ethical hacking. Now for all that, everything will not be coming into a plate and you will eat and you will mug up and do it. You have to practically get to the ground and find out that how I will learn all these things. Mechanical engineering, we have to more focus on supply chain management, because if companies like Amazon, companies like Gati, they are all based on the supply chain business. So if you can fit into that, so all these things will help you in order to build your things. And then developing resilience, this is something very important, because what happens is अब मैंने तो बता दिया कि ऐसा ऐसा करना है, ऐसे ऐसे हमको अपने अंदर ट्रस्ट करना है, तुमने सब कुछ किया फिर भी नहीं हुआ तो क्या करोगे? Then you get into depression कि that my days are not going well. So but it's not so. We have to have 3 plans. If plan A doesn't work, we will switch over to plan B, and then to plan C, and then come back to plan A, not leaving the plan A. So this is how we have to go ahead with the things. Develop the resiliency of not getting depressed for things which is which is not very much important, or even if it is important and we could not succeed. So that doesn't matter. It's not a very big issue, because there will come at times. So failure is the pillar of success. We have been learning from the childhood, and now we realize that yes, it is really the pillar of success, because each time you fail, it gives you a new learning. You don't fail exactly. So this is how you have to develop the resiliency, that okay, if I failed this time, if I couldn't speak in my lab class, doesn't matter. I'll have another time. I could not give a good presentation, doesn't matter. I'll do it. So this is now self-efficacy is the belief in one's ability to succeed. That's what I've been telling. In achieving an outcome or reaching a goal, high self-efficacy reflects confidence and the ability to exert control over one's own motivation. Words, own motivation, behavior, and environment, and allow students to become advocates for their own needs and supports. Now you need a bike, okay, the latest bike. Now who has to say this to their parents? Obviously you. Similarly, you need a good job, because you have been studying engineering, you are into management courses. So you have not come here to just, kill away your time. You have come with a purpose. So as a matured individual, what will you do? You will have to value your words. You have to see that what is my purpose? How will I work towards my purpose? What are the X factors that I need? What I don't have? Each of us do not have many of the X factors. We have to build them. And it is never too late to learn. You can't think that, oh, ab to third year ho gaya, I'm in the brink of my career, ab to kuch nahi hone wala, sab kuch hoga. And it will all come to you in variety of ways. You will not be expecting that, oh, I have, over the years, these all things I've learned and I can put. Now, some of you must be also having the thought of startup business. Now, startup business is as easy said than done. Because, startup business needs a lot of effort, lot of resiliency, lot of, understanding, this trust, hope, building of your own understanding about yourself, the confidence, everything matters. Because in startup business, each individual, when they started a business, they were not successful. They did it eventually. So you invest a lot of some money and your father says, oh, this is how you have to do. Okay, your father has earned money through his own, hard work. He hasn't got it in his plate. So similarly, if you are taking the money to invest into something, so that investment also should be valued by you. You should also say that how precious the efforts are. So you have to also inculcate and support your value system, right? So now there is, we all wonder, what is that one thing that made all the difference? On what basis is a person selected or rejected after an interview? So some of you, if you have appeared an interview, or some of you who will be appearing, or you saw your seniors, they got in Amazon, Microsoft, all those big names, and you say, how did they get it, and what is the thing that why people get rejected? So there, this is a thing which you have not to, think about again and again, but try to find out, as I said, what, why, and when. With that, what went wrong. So when you try and understand this, you will make a huge difference in your life, and you will make a huge difference in the society as well, because you are the youngsters who are the torch bearers of the society and the country. So we are not here for a very small purpose of, just attending classes, going back home, getting the marks, eating and sleeping. No, We are here, we are as responsible people. So we have to try and understand that. Now I'll show you this video, just you just see how, this is what is called resiliency. And so this is just a short video, and you will enjoy seeing that about this, people all are handicapped and how they work. You see, she says, I'm Dr. Malvika Iyer, and a freak bomb blast caused by a fire, and she lost her hands. You see, multiple fractures, nerve paralysis, and 13 surgeries. But I believe that grief and suffering cause more meaning can be found. So I found hope where there is none. Just look at her, how interesting this is, and how much of learning that we have through that. So she wrote her board exam, she learned new skills, and she was vocal about her experience. And imagine a PhD degree. I think even big people would be scared. And you see, she had the honor of meeting such big people. So this is what is the resilience. So, and she's living her best life and inspiring millions of people. And of course, she inspires all of us. Don't you think so? So when you accept of yourself, you are invincible. Okay, that's something very true, because first of all, we have to accept ourselves as we are. Everybody cannot have everything. So we have to first have the acceptance of ourselves, and then we will move forward, right? So now this is, let me come to the self-branding. Now you would say, what is this self-branding now? Each individual has a self-brand, already our parents have branded us with certain names, So we have Sanjukta, we have Pragya, we have, Dharmendra. So again, oh God, he's a hero also. So you see, the branding is already done for you. So what you have, every individual has a kind of a self-branding. Okay. So this self-branding is to be recognized. Now this self-branding is the potential that you have. That is how you see yourself, your personal brand, and how others see you. मेरे को टीचर ने डांट दिया सबके सामने, but why can't we take it? It's fine. Teachers are there to correct. यही तो उनका काम है, नहीं तो वो क्यों फिर वो teachers क्यों बने? वो तो फिर student ही रहते. Doesn't matter. So how, our perspective has to change, and then we can create a brand for ourselves. Now, creating a personal brand is, something that which is very important. You see, when particularly when you talk about sugar, okay, the company Sugar, the lady who is the owner of the sugar company, Sugar Cosmetics, you see how contradictory it is and how interesting also. Sugar is something which is very sweet, and cosmetics which every individual would like to choose, and particularly the women folk. So she has branded it in such a manner, and she makes all the cosmetics which is again relating to women, and women would like to use. So sugar is with sweet, and as women are related to sweetness. Okay, so this is how she had created, and you must have seen her in Shark Tanks also. She was a lady who is from IIT Madras and IIM Ahmedabad. She's a gold medalist, but yet she was rejected on various occasions. She joined jobs and she was turned out because she spoke out her words. She was not a puppet in other people's hands. And then what happened when she came out of her comfort zone? She built the sugar brand. So that is how we have to understand. Now, as Rome was not built in a day, so understanding yourself will take some time, but it should not take a very long time. And what is the benefit of a personal brand for a student? Now, this is something very interesting for all of you, because, when, as I said, we are already named by our parents. Okay. Now, when we are trying to create our own brands, we have to understand that why should a person hire me? Why should the interviewer hire me? There are 500 or more than that students competing with me. But what is that X factor that I should say? So most of the time when students are asked to introduce themselves, they say, I'm so-and-so, my father is so-and-so, my mother is so-and-so, and my father is a businessman, my mother is a housewife, I did my plus 10th from here, plus 2 from there. Now tell me one thing, what is the interviewer has to do with this? It's already there in your CV. So what there you have to bring in that X factor is, that is, how will you understand that how will I make a difference? So that will be through the skills that you have gained, through the variety kind of, different skills. And one of the things is soft skills, because soft skills is the basic thing which will teach you how to, build your hard skills. Because technical knowledge you will get through the books, but soft skills is something which will pave the way to get into the technical knowledge and bring and create a brand for yourself. So builds your recognition. Obviously, you are known by your name, don't you? So you're already having a brand. Utilize that brand. Reputation of oneself and the association. So you see, we always try to talk to classes. That is, he's not my type. I can't talk to him. How many times you have felt that? Oh, she doesn't match with my mentality. I'm not able to associate with her. So it's not like that. Because, if you are meeting 10 people, giving you recognition, those 10 people will take 10 years, because within 10 years, they will have a trust on you. But when you are meeting with 50 people, out of the 50 people, 30% people will build the trust, and you will get a lot more associations through that. So that you have to understand, that how do I realize for myself and how do I associate with people, and how do you build a connection with the audience. So we have to make an audience analysis. That is what my audience wants basically. So now you can't go to each person and ask that, aapko kaisa acha lagta hai? That's only in a restaurant a waiter can ask us, but we are not waiters, isn't it? So we are well above that because we are educated people. And of course, I don't disrespect any of the jobs. A waiter has equal respect as that of us because he is doing his job perfectly well. So how do you build a connection with your audience? Okay, that is through your body language, one thing. And secondly, taking the minds, reading their experiences, trying to understand that how will I say something which will be interesting. Now, say for example, the advertisement of Fair and Lovely. Okay, so I think when they advertise that, glowing skin, brighter skin, so all the, girls, they went, and even, women also went, Arey, we have to look fair. Okay, and so when that brand became a branded thing, then they came to Fair and Handsome. That why should, it's that why should boys have all the fun? Now the boys said, why should girls have all the fun? So we should also look handsome. But what the advertiser did, it branded its product in two different ways, and the sellability was more, marketability was more, and so people are buying it. So when Shah Rukh Khan comes and he advertises for Fair and Handsome, so people trust Shah Rukh Khan more than the Fair and Handsome. Because they say, Arey, Shah Rukh Khan bol raha hai, tab to acha hoga. And then, Dar ke aage jeet hai. Hrithik Roshan says he takes us on, normal bike. He jumps from one valley to the other and he says, Dar ke aage jeet hai. So all of us are very much convinced, Dar ke aage jeet hai. Isn't it? So this is how, we have to kind of build a kind of a trust. And, this is how we try to connect with the audience by a persuasive quality, because we understand that what is the marketability. And so transforms you into a trusted source. Okay, so you'll have totally a transformation, self-transformation.
Okay, you got the next step, you have a good family setup, fine. After that, what? So at every point of time, you have to measure that from here, where do I go? So the purpose has to be defined. And of course, as I said, defining your audience, researching on your audience is a little bit required, because whom are you? Even when you're facing an interview, there are 5 different people. So you have to understand about that organization who has come to interview you. You will have to do a lot of research about it through your internet, through your search engines, and find out that what is the mission of that organization, and get on with value addition. So as much as value you will add to your profile, that will all be added up, to your CV, which will give you a kind of a step ahead of all the competitors who are with you. Okay, so this is again an important thing to create a personal brand. Now you see, I think all of you must be knowing these people. Okay, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Ma, and J.K. Rowling. So, and you know that how successful these are. Yes, Sanjukta, if you have raised your hand, can we take up the questions at the end, please? So you see, these are the mission statements of this people. Steve Jobs, be a yardstick of quality. Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. So you see, what a simplified way of a mission statement. So you have to, promote yourself. You have to be a step. Then people don't care about what you say. They care about what you build. Absolutely. We have so many likes. Even somebody is, died and we put a like, because everybody has put a like. But what happens? A person, supposing I share a post that is my how sad it is. My grandmom passed away this today. So I made it claim there because I wanted others to know about it. My relatives whom I could not inform maybe, and so people start putting likes on that because you see, अरे मेरे friend ने like किया, oh she is known to me, so I'll also put a like. But what happens is what you have put a like is how foolish, because what are you doing? You are liking somebody's death. So so people who reach out to the person who has posted this could be more valuable than the person who has just put a like on that. So these sensibility we have to develop. Okay. Similarly, you see Jack Ma, he says, if you don't give up, you still have a chance. So giving up is the greatest failure. And I was very recently seeing a video of his, I do not know, of course, after this, when he had told about this China pandemic. So, there was something, I don't know, he's lost totally, whether he's existing or not, I do not know. But he used to always talk about, human intelligence and artificial intelligence, that how, though artificial intelligence is replacing human intelligence, but human intelligence will never be replaced by artificial intelligence, because it is always the creativity that the human mind has. Or whatever you feed to the robots, that's what they're going to do. Once the machine has to be built by human only. So this is again something, of course, that was a point that was discussed. So again, J.K. Rowling says that everything is possible for you. So you have to just try and understand about that. Okay. So these are, certain things that, there is. And so these are certain personality traits while you're building a brand, that is sincerity. So something that is, very essential. Wholesomeness, trustworthiness, authenticity, honesty, cheerfulness. So all these things are very important. You have to be cheerful also. Some slight mishap and you get depressed. No, that's not done. Okay. And then excitement, the passion for doing that. Because if you like something, you will definitely do it well. And being adventurous, that is coming out of your comfort zone, not doing, stunts in the bikes, of course. And enthusiastic. Boldness, you should be strong enough to do it, and imagination. So imagination of the dreams which is achievable, not building castles in the air. Because what we usually do is, I can, when I think of, I can just go out and have a good refreshment, but I will think of, one day I should go to the Trident Hilton and have a cup of, have dinner out there. So why should I think that much till I attain that? What is achievable, I should first go to that. So how will you build your competency? It is through intelligence, dependability, being wise, principled, and conscientiousness. So these are certain competence building strategies. And then sophistication. Now everybody needs to have certain, etiquettes. So that which is very essential. There are dining etiquettes, there are speaking etiquettes. So composure. So when somebody asks you, how are you? We always feel like, supposing we are not well. So somebody, we feel that kisi ne pooch liya, how are you? We say, oh sir, today, we didn't have good food in the hostel. It was not very tasty. I wanted to have non-chicken. They made fish. I did not like. So we go blah, 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 blah about it. But that's not required. So we have to keep ourselves very simple and specific to whatever question it is asked. And worldliness, we have to understand the world around us. And confidence and tact. Because as I said, the marketing strategies, the advertisements they pose. Okay, as I said, to you the example of, fair and lovely and fair and handsome. Now, ruggedness, that is being tough, being an athlete, being sturdy, and then reliable. So, there are three basic things of all things. That is, your stability, perseverance, and steadiness. These three are most important, and all these things can be done. Okay, that is sequentially you can have sincerity, build up excitement, and be competent enough to develop the sophistication, and being rugged enough that come what may, I will succeed. Okay, now these are certain motivators, measures that we can measure ourselves. That is, description motivators is what gets you out of the bed in the morning, as I said, and the example says, you can just think of, that is, today when I woke up, so can I change somebody's life? If supposing I've given, some small boy who wanted food, I fed him with even 2 biscuits. That is something I've brought some value to the life. I have taught people something, okay, and left an impact on certain XYZ. Now, creating impact doesn't always need a platform. You can do that anywhere. And so what makes you a tick? That is your passion for traveling, your passion for making money, friends and family. Now, making money is again for everybody. That's true that all of us want to make money. But for that, making money is again one important thing. But how do we attain that? Similarly, our value system, that is what qualities that we stand for. Okay, honesty, to what extent? Though the theoretical thing that is honesty is the best policy doesn't work very well as this. We have to be again a little bit manipulative in the right sense, and fairness and transparency and our aspiration, that what drives you in the short and long term, and your strengths, what are you naturally good at. Okay, so sometimes our interest and our capability do not match, because we might have a lot of interest on certain things, but we might not, I don't say capability, but we may not be that much competent enough to build that competency. It might take a long time. So we have to try and understand what it is about. So these are, certain examples. I think all of you are very familiar with these faces: Sachin Tendulkar, Ratan Tata, and the former president of United States. So you see this is an Elon Musk, and you can see the mission statement of Ratan Tata to be the most reliable, you see reliability, global network for customers and suppliers that delivers value through products and services, to be a responsible value creator for all our stakeholders. Now, you see, this is something they have, stick up to. That is, if you think about this nano cars, so how did the existence of nano cars came? He looked at all the possibilities which the manager, when he saw a person, a family going on a very rainy day on a scooter, and he was going in a car. So he developed that empathy. He said that, how it would be that I built a kind of a cost-effective car which every middle-class family also could buy. So he came and talked to his managers. All the managers said, no, it was not possible. But then he said, okay, now that you have decided what is not possible, now find out the possibilities, how it can be done. And then the outcome of nanocard, and you see how it is beneficial. So this, you see, you can also see the mission statement of Elon Musk, that how can you be sustainable in a market? Okay, and so everything doesn't always, is not self, kind of a thing that which your environment will provide. Certain things you have to also create by creating your own brand. Okay, now these are certain, stalwarts, as you know, Elon Musk. So his name is almost as well known as Coca-Cola, because Elon Musk is someone which we very often, discuss about, and everyone looks forward, and Tesla. So having a personal brand does not make you a public figure. So, so you are much subject to criticisms and of your public statement. So he also has to say this. So you have to, he was criticized on spending a lot of money. Now his money, he spent it, but people criticized him. But if that would, restrain him from doing things, would he succeed? No. Similarly, you can say this person, Gary Vaynerchuk, he's an influencer in the social media. How many of you, I think almost are into Instagram, and you can have certain influencers there. And how do they influence you? So he started with very humble beginning, with a lot of hard work and dedication, leading him to success. So everybody is not born with a golden spoon, what I'm trying to say. Okay. And Charlie Mary, she was a student of designing. And so how through her dedication that she became a brand. Okay. And similarly, Tony Robbins. So all these names, if you Google, you'll find a lot of things about them. And it is good to read about these people sometimes. Okay, that is how do they create a brand for themselves. So each one was not something that they had a lot of things behind, or they had inherited a lot of things. They created themselves. Okay, like love him or loathe him, it would be hard to find anyone unfamiliar with Tony Robbins. And there are numerous people. Martha Stewart. Okay, so she touches so many different pursuits. She's a great cook and an interior designer. So you see how these people have created, so she and how she has, touched the, palettes of people. So these all things, you have to understand. And so you see now this example, this is something very interesting. Now 43 years since this iconic images. Now, I think most of you must be not born of at that time when the Fiat Padmini was there, Bajaj scooter was there, Rajdoot motorcycle was there. They are all extincted now. But what, they keep as antique pieces. Premier Padmini was a car, as BMW, what is to us now, Premier Padmini was there 43 years back. Okay, so then people were very, proud who were owners of Ambassador and Premier Padmini. But this car doesn't exist anymore. But Amitabh Bachchan, so how many of us are following Amitabh Bachchan? He is a brand. So he is coming. I think most of the advertisements, the brand ambassador is Amitabh Bachchan. Kaun banega crorepati? We are all glued to the TV not because of what happens, who wins, because somebody is winning, they are winning crores and they are going back home. What is to us? But we like the way he takes up the entire, episode. And again, right from his movies of Zanjeer to the movies of Black, to the movies of Pico. So all this, there are a variety of movies, but we still look up to him. And, the day he was sick, I think the entire world was, looking forward, oh, he should be all right, as if he's our brother and he would come and save us. But he has created a brand for himself. So this is only, few of the things. Now, Rajdoot is again a motorcycle. Of course, now it has again changed its thing and it has come. So these all things, this is how we have to create a brand by our honing our own potential. Okay. So lastly, I would say give respect and get respect. I hope I did not take much time, and thank you a lot for your patience. Now we can take up the question, if any. So I think here I wind up. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Okay, so I'll take over the first question. That is, okay. Okay. So what is the role of content creation in branding of the self? Okay, so this is Sambit Mahanti. Okay, Sambit. Yes, content creation in the branding of the self. Now, what kind of a content are we talking about? See, content will be developed, and when we are developing ourselves, what is the content are we talking? We are not having a tailor-made content. No, this is how we have to go. So content creation will come only when you have created a kind of a, an image of yourself. People know Sambit. So yes, Sambit Mahanti is going to speak something. Yes, then Sambit Mahanti will have a content and he will create that content in order to impress his audience, as the advertisements do. So content creation has nothing to do with self-branding. Self-branding is something which you are, creating your own image. Branding doesn't mean, only you have to be on the posters. That is how people will look up to you. That should be your major, concern. That is what is that X factor? As I said, there will be 500 or more than that, who all will be there in the kind of interview. Now, what is the difference you're going to make? So it could be even while introducing, when people would be all saying stereotypically, I'm so-and-so, I'm like, this is what I'm doing. My father is a businessman, my mother is a homemaker and all. So, but you would say about the extra skills that you have taken forward. You would say that I've handled these projects. I'm a good team player. I have, raised funds for these kind of things. So all these things would create that content in you. I hope I answered the question. Okay, so the next question, sometimes self-branding leads to self-esteemedness. I do not know who is this. The name is not clear. Whoever it is, I would say that, beta, there is self-esteem and self-branding is different. When I'm talking about self-brand, so I'm talking about your own self-esteem about yourself. Now, as I said, each time when, when you're asked to do something new, you will say, how will I do it? You get nervous. All of us have that nervous instincts when we stand in front of a gathering and we have to say a few words. Okay, so that is a kind of a thing which is very common. But how do we cover our nervousness? That is, people should not be able to know that, oh, I am nervous. So my self-esteem is, yes, I am a brand. Now, see, my name is Swayam Prabha. Now, how many people find it very difficult to pronounce it? Say, oh, itna bada naam hai, but I'm proud of my name because mujhe lagta hai Swayam Prabha has a lot of meaning. It's a self-light. So that itself, I feel, mera esteem, I have, increased my own esteem. So self-branding and self-esteem goes for your own self. You need not have to worry about what others think about you, because if you think right about yourself, people will automatically think. Think of the advertisement of Mother's Day. How many of us, a mother is someone who is, whom we cannot repay at any point of time. But when the Mother's Day comes, each of you must be preparing a cup of tea for your mom, because it's Mother's Day. You wish her a happy Mom's Day. People who are in the hostel, that particular day you ring her. But tell me one thing, has she ever faltered any single day asking you that, have you eaten? Have you gone to sleep properly? Are you okay? So this is again a kind of an advertisement, which they have created a brand of Mother's Day tag, and people are buying the products for Mother's Day. Valentine's Day, the most acclaimed day. Now, if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you are faithful to the person for all times to come. Why there has to be a day where you have to dedicate yourself to the person? Okay, enjoyment is fine. So this is what is, our self-esteem should be regulated by us with the brand that we create. It should not be regulated by others. But on the contrary, this is what it happens. And that creates a confusion among us. I hope I answered it. Is there anything else?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Pragya. Thank you, entire Department of Humanities and Management, for having me here. It was a pleasure talking to you people. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such a wonderful session. Now, the point like I can do it to like I will do it, that's a whole lot of journey, and it needs a few bit of courage to just move into it with like the 5 magical words which ma'am used, like motivation, passion, we have values, aspirations, etc. So with this word, I feel that we can overcome any kind of situation, any kind of hurdles that are that will come into our life, or any challenges that are going to be coming in our professional life. So now it's been a pleasure for me for attending this vote of thanks for especially for our chief guest, who blossomed our event with such inspirational words. Thanks to Dr. Pragya Pani ma'am, head of English department, for arranging such a event, such an interactive event. Thanks to other faculty members of our English department. Sincere thanks to all, and to all the web attendees who has devoted or invested their precious moments
So anyways,
for us.
thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye.